Dear friends, yesterday we have discussed some of the information regarding this cell division, that is a meiotic cell division. So today we are clearly discuss about the how many phases we observed in meiosis and each meiotic phase, which type of changes has occurred. We will going to discuss today's class. Okay, so meiosis takes place how many times? Two times. We have already discussed it, Meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So meiosis consists two phases, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So meiosis 1 contain the karyokinetic phase. This slide is visible.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So yeah, meiosis 1 or meiosis 1 or first meiosis consist karyokinetic phase and cytokinesis. So karyokinesis consists four phases, that is the prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase 1. We know that clearly, we know. Then in the prophase 1, again it is further classified into five subphases. These five subphases are leptotin, zygotin, pakitin, diplotin, and diakinesis. These are the five subphases included in prophase 1 and metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. These are the karyokinetic phases. Then afterwards, in this meiosis 1, after telophase 1, then cell is going to automatically cytokinetic phase. So after cytokinesis, then the meiosis 2 we are observed. So meiosis 2 is nothing but mitosis. We know that. So meiosis also contain the prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2, and cytokinesis. And very important point is, what is the main difference between this meiosis 1 and meiosis 2? Meiosis 2 takes place in diploid condition, mother cells or diploid state of the reproductive cells, whereas after meiosis 1, then the meiosis 2 is equivalent to mitosis. It is similar to the mitosis. Then meiosis 1 only. So in this meiosis, only cytokinesis has occurred. Cytokinesis has occurred, or interphase is only one time we are observed. Only one time. We will discuss clearly. Next slides. So prophase 1. It is visible. Prophase 1. So this
Yes, sir.
prophase 1, which type of changes has occurred, we will discuss here. Number 1, nucleus and nucleolus is going to disappear. Is it right or not? Nucleus, nucleolus going to disappear. And at the time, spindle threads or spindle apparatus is going to forms. And the chromosomes, before this prophase 1, so chromosomes are thread-like structures and net-like aperture, net-like structure we are observed in the nucleus. Whenever the cell is going to meiotic division, that is a prophase 1, then automatically chromosomes are going to coil, and synapsis means pairing. So these type of occur in this prophase 1. The chromosomes are going to coil, at the same time they are pairing. Then chromosomes. So the chromosomes, they are sister chromatids, the similar chromosomes, arms we can call as sister chromatids. The chromatids are the four chromatids form, we can call as tetrads. So tetrads form, we are observing in prophase 1. At the same time, in prophase 1, crossing over occurs. It is very important. Without crossing over, there are no genetic recombination has occurred. Without genetic recombination, there are no variations we observed in the environment. So the evolutionary process is going to last, or there is no evolutionary process has occurred without crossing over. So this is very important point. So this image shows about the what is the nuclear changes we are observed in the diagram. So in this nucleus consists these chromosome. So chromosomes are there. The chromosomes are attached with the spindle fibers. Spindle forms. At the same time, the aster fibers also absorbed in the polar regions of the nucleus or polar regions of the cell. So polar regions of the cell, the spindle apparatus that is are shaped astral shape. The aster fibers also here. At the same time, centrioles is going to produce, or centrioles both centrioles are both poles which are situated at both poles. At the same time, the spindle fibers are reached to the centromere of the chromosome and attached to the centromere of the chromosome. So this is about prophase. And my dear friends, remember, prophase is one of the most complex phase, and it is the longest phase of the entire meiotic cell division. So these chromosomes, the four chromosomes are chromatids, we can call as the tetrads. Okay, chromosome or chromatid tetrads. So chromosome consists arms. These arms we can call as chromatids. These four chromatids we can call as tetrads or chromatid tetrads. And along with this information, the prophase 1 consists how many subphases? We know that. How many subphases? Anybody can tell?
5.
5 subphases. What are they? Tell me.
Leptotin, zygotin,
Yes.
pakitin, diplotin, and dikinesis.
Dikinesis. Very good. So these are the 5 subphases which is in a sequential manner, which is very, very important in prophase 1 of the meiosis 1, and each subphase is moves sequential manner. So first subphase of the prophase 1 is leptotin, and this leptotin also we can call as leptonema. Leptonema. This is the first subphase of the prophase 1. And here in this leptotin, which type of changes has occurred? We will discuss here in this slide. So all the chromosomes begin to condense. So the chromosomes, mean thread-like structures, chromosomes, before formation of the chromosomes, the chromatin fiber or net-like structure we are observed in the center part of the nucleus, and it is going to condense to form a visible form of the chromosomes or fine thread-like structures. And there is a marked increase in the nuclear volume. Very, very important, my dear friends. Whenever in prophase 1, the leptotin phase, the surface of the first surface of the prophase 1, that is the leptotin or leptonema, nuclear volume is increased, markable increased. Okay, so volume is enlarged in the leptotin. A process of homology such which is essential to the initial pairing of homologous begins during leptonema. Okay, so why this nuclear value is increased? Just because of the essential of the initial pairing of the chromosomes, homologous chromosomes being during leptonema. So this is about leptotin surface. If you have any doubt leptotin, please ask me. I will clarify these 4 points. Is it clear? Next we will move for next surface. Yes. So the next surface, that is zygotin. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
zygotin, very good. The zygotin is the second surface of the prophase 1. So this zygotin is also a stage we can also known as zygonema, like leptonema, the first surface. So in this stage begins, whenever the stage begins with the initiation of the pairing between. So which type of chromosomes are going to pair, my dear friends? We know that. Homologous, definitely, my dear friends, homologous chromosomes are going to pair. It is very, very important, and this is mandatory. So homologous chromosomes are going to pair, and it ends with a complete pairing in this zygotin phase. And this process of pairing end to end between homologous chromosome is known as homologous dyads. What we can say that? Homologous dyads. Homologous dyads. And at the same time, this complex we can call as synaptonemal complex. What we can say that? Synaptonemal complex is formed during this zygote stage. Whenever the chromosomes, homologous chromosomes are going to come together and in pair, whenever the complex we can call a synaptonemal complex, which is observed in zygote stage. At the completion of this zygote, this the slide is visible, Amma? At the completion of zygote, the paired homologous take the form of bivalents. What we can say that? Bivalents. Bivalents. The number of bivalents in each species is equal to the haploid number. Very, very important. So the bivalents, how many number of bivalents are there now? Then automatically the haploid number of the daughter cells, the haploid chromosomes of the daughter cells. So which is a very, very important point. Then we will move for the third surface of the prophase 1. That is, what we can say that? Third surface. Tell me first. Pachytene. So first one is leptotin, the second one is zygotin, the third one is pachytene. So this pachytene is also, we know that pachynyma, like leptonema, zygonema, and pachynyma. This is the third surface of the prophase 1. The process of synapsis is complete. Remember, synapsis or synaptonemal complex is going to form in zygote phase, but this process, entirely synaptonemal process or synapsis process, has complete in pachytene stage. Is it clear? Then the two homologous of each bivalent appears to be attached with each other at one or more points. These attachments are known as chiasmata. What we can say that? Chiasmata. So two homologous of each bivalent appears to be attached with each other at one or more points. These attachments are known as chiasmata. In this chiasmata, chromosomes appears like X shape. Which shape, Amma? X shape. So this process we can call as crossing over. So this crossing over is a precise breakage, a swapping and reunion between two non-sister chromatomes, homologous chromosomes. This crossing over has occurred between homologous non-sister chromatids. Not sister chromatids, my dear friends, non-sister chromatids. I will show the 3D animated slide next. After 2 slides, I will show the clearly how this crossing over has occurred. So in this crossing over, homologous chromosomes are going to come together and pairing. Then only the non-sister chromatids are the piece of the or breakage of the non-sister chromatids of homologous chromosomes. So this entire process we can call as crossing over. So these crossovers make new gene combinations, and which are an important source of genetic variations in populations. In entire population, genetic variations are occur due to the crossing over. Without crossing over, there are no genetic variations. There are no genetic recombinations. There is no differentiation between the same offspring of the same parents at the same time in the population also. So that's why it is very, very important, and it is most remarkable change in the entire world in the process of evolutionary changes. So crossing over is one of the most important character features of this Pocketing stage. So crossing over has occurred in which phase? Pocketing phase. Okay. Then the fourth subphase of the prophase 1, that is diplotin. So first one is leptotin, second one is zygotin, third one is pocketin, the fourth one is diplotin. Leptotin, zygotin, pocketin, and diplotin. The fourth one is diplotin. So diplotin is also known as diplonema, like leptonema, zygonema, pockenema, and this one diplonema. In this subphase, DNA recombination is complete. DNA recombination. My dear friends, remember, don't forget, I am explaining about DNA recombination, not DNA replication. DNA replication has takes place in interphase. That is the second subphase, that is S subphase of the interphase, we have to observe. That is the DNA replication. But gene recombination or DNA recombination is complete in which phase? Diplotin. So DNA recombination starts in which phase? Pocketing phase. DNA recombination is complete in which phase? Diplotin phase. This is very, very important, and your further your competitive examination also we will absorb this type of questions. DNA replication absorbed in interphase, but DNA recombination we are absorbed in pocketin and diplotin of the prophase 1. And the chromatids continue to shorten and thicken. The 4 sister chromatids in a group is called tetrad, chromosomal tetrad. Tetra means 4, you know. The chromatids are going to come together of the sister chromatids. The group of these 4 chromatids we can call as tetrad, chromatid tetrads. So the synaptonymal complex begins to break down. So diplotin, in this diplotin stage, already synaptonymal complex has initiated in zygotin phase. The synaptonymal complex begins to break down in diplotin phase. Okay, in this diplotin phase, the paired chromatids begins to pull apart, causing the strands to separate longitudinally. Why this synaptonymal complex is going to break down? Just because of the chromatids begins to pull apart, causing the strands to separate longitudinally. The chiasmata tend to become terminalized as the meiotic phase continues. So this is about the diplotin stage. And the fifth stage of prophase 1, that is diakinesis. So first one is leptotin, second one is zygotin, third one is pocketin, fourth one is diplotin, and fifth one is diakinesis. Okay, in this diakinesis, this is the fifth subphase of the prophase 1. This diakinesis, the chromosome becomes shorter and thicker due to condensation. So in this phase, till this phase, chromatin fibers are net-like structure, a thread-like, long thread-like structure, but that is going to come together, that is going to shorter and condensation state, condensed state, and clearly appear in the pocketing stage to form the chiasmata or chiasma, and genetic recombination has started. Okay, then the diplotin, the genetic recombination or DNA recombination has completed. The complete DNA recombination in diplotin stage. But in diakinesis, remember, my dear friends, the second point is very, very, very familiar to us. That is nucleolus, nuclear envelope going to disappear towards the end of the diakinesis. So whenever the diakinesis is going to end point, the nuclear envelope, at the same time, nucleolus is going to disappear. And it is the vice versa, my dear friends. It is the vice versa of the, what we can say, that telophase. Then the spindle apparatus become organized. Well organized spindle apparatus, we are observed in the nuclear region or polar region of diakinesis phase. Then, my dear friends, remember each nucleus consists centrioles, or the nucleolus is also going to disappear. At the same time, the chromosome. So two chromatids are going to attached in the center part of the chromosome, or the chromosomal middle part of the region we can call as what we can say that centromere. At the same time, in both the pole or polar regions, centrioles are going to reach the polar region or migrate towards the polar region. Centrioles are going to migrate towards the polar regions. So this is about the changes has occurred in diakinesis of the prophase 1. I hope these 5 subphases we clearly understood. Any doubts, my dear friend? Prophase.
No, sir.
So prophase 1 consists 5 subphases, that is leptotin, zygotin, pocketin, diplotin, diakinesis. We are clearly discussed here. If you have any doubt, these 5 subphases of the prophase 1, please ask me, I will clarify. Leptonema, zygonema, pachynema, okay now, then diplonema, then last one is the diakinesis. These are the 5 subphases of the prophase 1 of the meiosis 1. If you don't have doubts, we will move for the second phase, that is the metaphase 1. Metaphase 1 of the meiosis 1. So in this metaphase 1, the among these 4 phases, among this prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, during this meiosis division or meiosis, the very shortest phase, that is the metaphase 1. Okay, and at the same time, we discussed the previous slide, the sister chromatids, that is the 4 are going to group that tetrads, form tetrads, tetrads. So the tetrads align on the equator. So the chromosomal tetrads are aligned on the equator. Simply we can say that chromosomes are arranged on the equator or middle part of the cell or central plate, So this is about the metaphase 1. At the same time, we know that independent assortment, have you ever heard this independent assortment words? Mendel.
Yes, sir.
Gregor John Mendel has given this theory, law of independent assortment. His hybridization experiments, Mendel has given laws, that is the Mendel laws. The first one is what we can say, the law of dominance. Okay, the second one is the law of segregation, and the third one is the law of independent assortment. We know that clearly about that laws. So this independent assortment is one of the most important law of the Mendel's or Mendelism. So in this independent assortment, Mendel has clearly stated that chromosomes separate randomly without losing of their properties or their characteristic features, just because of, my dear friends, genetic recombination. Okay, genetic recombination. Okay, causing genetic recombination. So this is about independent assortment. Okay, independent assortment. It is clear, metaphase 1, it is the shortest phase, tetrads align on the equator, we know that. So independent assortment, in this independent assortment, so these genetic recombinations we are observed, chromosomes are arranged in the equator zone. Am I clear? Then the next slide shows about in this metaphase 1, these homologous line up at equator are metaphase plates. So here, this is either longitudinally or horizontally. See here, the chromosomes, they are arranged. See here, the color of the chromosomes, we are clearly observed here. See, So the upper side of the chromosomes, they are not having any difference in the color, but whereas in the lower chromosomes, lower two chromosomes have variation, you know. So the color of the chromosomes is different, but they are arranged in metaphase plate or equator of the cell. Is it right? Then, so this metaphase, the formula, we know that the 2n. For example, 2n means a diploid. So diploid chromosomes are and 4 in number. Then 1n is equal to 2. Thus, 2 power of 2 is equal to 4 combinations. See here, 2 power of 2 is equal to 4 combinations are here. How many combinations we are observed in this slide? This slide is visible. How many combinations we are observed in this slide? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, B, small, capital A, small b. Small a, capital B. Capital A, small b. Small a, capital B. So these are the, what we can say that capital A, small b, capital A, small b, small a, capital B, small a, capital B. So these are 2, then automatically, then thus the next generation that is produce the 4, 4 number. So these are 4 combinations. 4 combinations we are observed. So this anaphase 1. Is there any doubt, Amma? Is there any doubt metaphase 1? Is there any doubt metaphase 1?
No, sir.
No. Then we will move for next phase. That is the third phase of the meiosis 1. That is anaphase. That is anaphase. So in this anaphase, homologous chromosomes separate and move towards the pole. Some of the friends is asking me, sir, how these homologous chromosomes are separate? How these chromosomes are separate and move towards the pole? Why? How can it occurs? How can it is possible? Just because of, my dear friends, whenever the spindle fibers are going to condense, are going to pull towards the polar regions, then automatically the chromosomes are going to break down into chromatids or daughter chromatids, and these daughter chromatids are homologous chromosomes or daughter chromatids move towards the opposite poles with the help of spindle fibers. Am I clear? Then automatically the sister chromatids remain attached at the centromeres. So here this what we can say, the 3D image, the motion image is visible. It is
No, sir.
There is no movement you are observed, na? There is no movement.
No, sir.
No. Sorry, Amma. What is the problem? It is very beautiful movement. Better I will send.
Now visible, sir.
Sir, it's visible now.
Visible? Okay. Okay, Amma. Okay. So this is very clearly understood. The different colors, different colored chromosomes, they are homologous chromosomes, but the chromatids, chromatids of the same chromosome, we can call it the sister chromatids. The sister chromatids are going to sister chromatid does not pair, but the non-sister chromatids are going to conjoin or join different places and looks like a X shape. The X shape we can call as a chiasma, chiasmata or chiasma. Okay, during this pocketing stage, the chiasmatas are occurred and genetic recombinations or DNA recombinations occurred. This leads to the variations. Genetic recombination or genetic variations we are observed in the populations of the entire world or entire ecosystem. Okay, is it clear? And sister chromatids remain attached at their centromeres. Okay, then we will move for next slide. If it is clear, we will move for next slide. Then this anaphase 1. So here homologous chromosomes are separate. These homologous chromosomes are separate. These are moved towards the polar regions. Polar regions. Okay. Now telophase 1. After anaphase, telophase 1. So telophase is the fourth phase of the meiosis 1. In this telophase, each pole now has haploid. Haploid means one set of chromosomes. Haploid chromosomes are reached the polar region or each poles. So this telophase belongs to karyokinesis, karyokinesis. After telophase 1, cytokinesis has occurred. So this cytokinesis occurs and two haploid daughter cells are formed. Whenever the cytokinesis has occurred, and then the two haploid daughter cells are formed. Two daughter cells are formed. See here how this telophase, then after telophase, the cytokinesis has occurred, then automatically two new daughter cells produced. This is about telophase. If you have any doubt regarding of meiosis 1, my dear friends, meiosis
No,
1.
sir.
Okay, if you don't have any doubt in meiosis 1, then we will move for meiosis 2. Okay, meiosis 2. So in this meiosis 2, sister chromatids are separated. Simply, sister chromatids are separated. So in this meiosis 2, no interface or very short interface we are observed. In earlier slide, we can already discussed, only interface before starting the meiosis 1 interface we observed. But after meiosis 1, after cytokinesis, the meiosis 2 is then very continuously it is going on. That's why we cannot observe the interface 2. So there are no interface. There is no interface 2. But if any possibility, but it is very, very short, too short. Is it clear? Then no DNA replication. Only DNA replication only one time. Only one copy of the DNA replication. Only once DNA replication. There is no second time of replication has occurred in the S phase of the interface. Just because of the cell cycle regulation or checkpoints. That is, which checkpoint, my dear friends? Remember? G1 checkpoint or G2 checkpoint? G1 checkpoint and G2 checkpoint, both are involved. There is no DNA replication. And remember, meiosis 2 is similar to mitosis. Is there any doubt? Am I audible?
No, sir.
Meiosis 2 is very similar to mitosis. There is no differentiation. Sir, why meiosis 1 is not similar to mitosis? Anybody asking me or anybody tell me, Amma? Why meiosis 1 is not similar to mitosis? Why?
Haploid set of chromosomes are
Very
formed.
good. Simply we can say that mother cell is going to give rise to haploid daughter cells. But mother cell is in diploid condition, whereas daughter cells are haploid condition. So that's why the division we can call as reduction division or meiosis 1. So meiosis 1 definitely mother cell or parent cell chromosome compared to daughter cell in 1/2. Am I right? So that's why that is not similar to mitosis, whereas meiosis 2 is nothing but mitosis. Meiosis 2 is very similar to mitosis. Is it clear? Then prophase 2. So meiosis 2 is also consist prophase 2. Come on. Metaphase 2. Come on. Anaphase 2. Come on. Telophase 2. Am I right? So prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2. Then prophase 2, what changes has occurred in the nuclear region? So prophase 2 is same as prophase in mitosis. So in mitosis, Sir, you already simply told prophase 1, prophase 2 very similar to prophase 1 of prophase 2, not prophase 1 amma. Prophase 2 as very similar to the or same as mitosis. Sir, we know that. We don't know, sir. What type of changes has occurred? We know that, my dear friends, we have already discussed in last class, but again we will discuss here. So that is nucleus and nucleolus is going to disappear. Chromosomes are going to condense to form chromosomes and spindle. This slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what we can say that same as prophase in mitosis, nucleus and nucleolus disappear. Chromosomes are going to condense to form. What we can say that chromatin thread is going to condense to form chromosomes and spindle forms or spindle fibers are formed due to the centriole or centrioles are moved towards the polar region, or spindle or astral shapes spindle or non-astral spindles, they are situated or stable or they are stayed reached at the polar regions. Then metaphase 2. Is there any doubt, Amma? Prophase 2 is any doubt?
No, sir.
No. So metaphase 2. Also same mitosis. So what changes has occurred in metaphase 2? Then all chromosomes are reached the metaphase plate or the central plate of the cell,
Equatorial plate.
or equatorial plate or metaphase plate. What we can say that both are same. So equatorial plate. So the chromosomes are arranged on the equatorial plate and they are in the middle part of the cell. So this chromosome, remember, not homologous line up at equator. See here, non-homologous line up at equator. Then anaphase 2. Anaphase 2. This slide is visible, anaphase 2. So anaphase 2,
Yes, sir.
anaphase 2 same as as mitosis. Anaphase 2 is also same anaphase in mitosis. So what changes has occurred in anaphase of the mitosis? So sister chromatids are going to separate. Very, very important. Sister chromatids are going to separate. Why these sister chromatids are separate? Why?
Spindle fiber condense.
Yes, just because of the centrioles. From centriole, the spindle fibers are reached or attached to the kinetochore or center part of the chromosome or centromere of the chromosome, and these spindle fibers are pulled towards the polar region. Then chromosome is going to divide or break down into daughter chromatids, and these sister chromatids are separated and move towards the polar region. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then
Yes, sir.
telophase. Then telophase 2. It is also very similar to the telophase of the mitosis. It is same as telophase in mitosis. What changes has occurred? It is vice versa of the prophase 2. Am I right? Nucleoli or nucleolus and nuclear membrane is reformed or reappear, and spindle fibers and spindle apparatus disappear. Am I right? At the same time, after telophase 2, cytokinesis has occurred. Then remember these four, after meiosis 2, 4 haploid daughter cells are formed, or 4 daughter cells are produced, which are must be in haploid condition. Must be, not should be, my dear friends. Must be in haploid conditions. These 4 cells may be the parent cell or parent, that is the sperm cell, may be the mother cell, that is ova or egg cell. But compared to the parent cell or mother cell, is the ova or egg is going to develop only 1 egg in each time. Remaining 3 are going to polar bodies, are going to die. I hope you clearly understood. And these 4 haploid daughter cells we can call as gametes. Gametes. Okay, so these gametes, what are the gametes? Eggs, egg cell, or ova in female organism at the same, or female cell. At the same time, sperm. It is in male reproductive gametes. See, in this slide, in this image, what we are observing in this slide, what we are observing in this image, the sperm is going to
Milk
fertilize
fusing with
or
ova.
yes, enter into the egg. So one sperm that is in haploid condition sperm, one egg that is one ova, or it is also in haploid condition, the sperm is going to combine, or sperm is going to fertilize this the one egg and to form a single cell, that is produce a single cell that is in diploid condition. The cell we can call as zygote. The cell we can call as zygote. Okay, so this is the telophase 2. In this telophase 2, how these four new haploid daughter cells are formed. Okay, this is the telophase 2. Four daughter haploid daughter cells. So these are all definitely haploid condition, not diploid, my dear friends. This is haploid conditions. Okay, I hope how these changes you observed. What you observed, blue colored globular structure reached the polar regions. What they are? Spindle apparatus.
Spindle.
Yes, very good. Spindle. Then spindle apparatus are formed and spindle fibers are reached to attach on the centromere of the chromosome, and they are
Centromere.
very good centromere, and they are moved towards the polar regions or pulled toward the polar region. Before move toward the polar region, chiasmata is formed during the prophase 1, that is a pocketing subphase of the prophase 1. In that phase, these changes has occurred, and after this after these changes has occurred in the cell, then automatically complete meiosis. The meiosis 1 produce two haploid daughter cell. Then automatically these two haploid daughter cell is going to further divided into four haploid daughter cells. Four haploid daughter cells. See here, this is the one cell is going to produce are going to divide into two haploid daughter cells, and further this divided into meiosis 2, that is two haploid daughter cells going to four haploid daughter cells. See here, 1 2 3 4, four haploid daughter cells is produced. Okay, so this is about the meiosis. If you have any doubt, please ask me, Amma. If you have any doubts.
No, sir.
Yes. So among these, along with this meiotic cell division, before going to discuss about the significance of the meiotic cell division or meiosis, variations or genetic recombination is very, very important term regarding of this meiotic cell division in the sexual reproduction process. My dear friends, remember, sexual reproduction is one of the most important factor for the genetic recombination or genetic variations in the evolutionary process. So this is an important population as the raw material for natural selection. What do you understand about the natural selection? Who given the theory of natural selection? Have you ever heard the scientist name Charles Darwin? You know Charles Darwin.
Yes, sir.
So Charles Darwin has given the theory of natural selection. So according to this natural selection, all organisms are not alike. Am I right? All organisms are not alike. Some of them are stronger, some of them are weaker in the entire populations. Am I right or not? So,
Yes, sir.
according to this natural selection, strongest or most fit are survive to reproduce and pass on traits of their offsprings. But remaining, they are eliminated they are eliminated from the entire ecosystem or entire earth. So this is nothing but survival of the fittest. Am I right? Survival of the fittest. Just because of sexual reproduction, the survival of the fittest is very, very suitable for this sexual reproduction. Then fertilization. We know that fertilization means one egg cell is going to fertilize with sperm. One haploid egg is going to fertilize with fusion of the one haploid sperm cell to form a single diploid zygote. Okay, that entire process we can call as fertilization. Okay, so zygote is always in diploid condition. Egg is haploid condition, sperm is haploid condition. Then both they are going to fuse to form one single diploid state cell that we can call as zygote. So zygote is in diploid condition. Okay, so then after this information, after discussion of this information, we will further going to discuss about what is the importance of this meiosis. Not only meiosis 1 and also meiosis 2. Okay, so within 5 minutes I will sum up, Amma. Are you feel bored? I'll continue. These within 5 minutes I will sum up. Tell me, Amma. Only 3 slides are here.
Sir, you can complete that, sir.
Yeah. So
It'll be there. 5 minutes are there. You can complete that topic.
Okay. Thank you. So the significance. So compared to mitosis, meiosis, one of the very, very important cell division for the just because of genetic recombination, just because of DNA recombination or variations, genetic variations. Okay, and this meiotic cell division is also we can call it as reduction cell division. So in this cell division or in a reduction cell division, the chromosome number is going to reduce compared to the mother cell or parent cell of the daughter cell. Compared to daughter cell, mother cell is diploid condition, whereas the daughter cells are haploid condition. Okay, by disjunction. So two kinds of randomizing, that is a genetic reassortments occur during meiosis. Number 1, chance orientation of bivalents at the equator during metaphase 1. So there is a random distribution of maternal and paternal homologous between the daughter cells at meiosis 1, as a result of which each gamete acquires a different mixture of maternal along with paternal chromosomes. So thus, an individual could produce diploid or 2n different gametes where n is our haploid chromosome number. In human, 23 pairs of the chromosome, that is 8.4 into 10 to the power of 6 genetically different gametes are produced. But the actual number of variants is very much greater because of second type of reassortment called chromosomal crossing over. We are observed in the Parkinson subphase of the prophase 1, in which a part of the homologous chromosomes are exchanged. Homologous chromosomes are exchanged. So, then this slide is visible. The next slide. So, in this meiosis, it produces haploid gametes. We know that is the gametogenesis in the gonads. And second point is meiosis and fertilization. Both work in coordination to maintain chromosome number constant generation after generation. Any generation in our human beings, 23 pairs of the chromosomes are present. Any generation in our parent generation and before grandparent generation, after our offsprings or after generations of the generations, there are no variation of the chromosome numbers observed in the cell. So cell constantly consists the number of the chromosome or chromosome number. In human being, definitely 23 pairs of the chromosome should be present. In the 23 pairs of the chromosome, first 22 pairs of the chromosomes are determinants of the somatic body or entire body features, but the exemption is the last pair of the chromosome that determine the sex or sex determination. Okay, so that's why meiosis is very, very important. And it is so because sexual reproduction without meiosis will result in tetraploidy, whereas sexual reproduction without fertilization will result in haploidy. So that's why definitely sexual reproduction, whenever the gametes, that is nothing but ova and sperm cells, should be in haploid condition. After the fusion of these two cells to form a diploid single zygote cell that automatically produce the entire body. So that is very, very important, and constantly chromosomes are transformed generation after generation. The third point is the meiosis produces new combinations of genes due to crossing over and change rearrangement of bivalents at the equator, producing variations which help in evolutionary process. Okay, who was the father of evolution, my dear friends? Anybody? You know that? Father of evolution. Charles Darwin, you know. Charles Darwin. Okay. Fine. It is also Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin was the father of evolution. And it also causes multiplication. As in meiosis, each diploid parent cell produce 4 haploid cells. Or nothing but 4
Law of segregation, law of dominance.
Yeah, very good, very good, very good. So then, what are the differences between mitosis and meiosis? Okay, so some of these are the differences we are observed in these two divisions, mitosis and meiosis. In mitosis, we are observed it occurs only. Mitosis occurs only
Somatic cells.
Somatic cell.
Somatic cells.
only somatic cells. Only somatic cells along with
Other than
germ
reproductive cells,
also.
all
Very,
cells, sir.
very good, very good. Just because remember in competitive examination, blindly we are put the answer mitosis has occurred only somatic cells only. No, so mitosis has occurred both the cells or all types of the cells, including germ cells also. Okay, so the meiosis here you should put the answer only meiotic division or reduction division takes place in only germ cell. It is compulsory. Is it clear? The first point. Then second one, mitosis is also we can call as equational division. Meiosis also we can call as reductional division. After mitosis, how many daughter cells are produced? Mitosis.
2 daughter cells.
No.
8, sir.
2. Meiotic, after meiotic division, 4 haploid daughter cells are produced. Then here the mitosis involves relatively few changes are occurred in prophase, but whereas in meiosis, prophase is one of the very, very complexity phase and the longest phase of the meiosis. Okay, and chromosome here not visible in prophase. In mitosis, chromosomes are not visible, whereas in meiosis, chromosomes are visible in leptotin stage of the prophase 1. My dear friends, remember synapsis, crossing over does not occur in mitosis, whereas meiosis, these two as definitely we are observed. In zygote, we are observed in the synapsis. Crossing over, we are observed Pocketin stage. Okay, then metaphase, chromosome arranged along the equator. Very, very important. See here, my dear friends, this is the one of the most important point here. Mitosis, the metaphase, what we observed, chromosomes are arranged along the equator. Okay, And here, meiosis, the chromosomes arranged equally on either side of the equator in metaphase 1. Is it clear? I hope you clearly understood.
Yes.
Then mitosis, the centromere in anaphase, each centromere split into 2. But whereas in meiosis, orient towards the pole, while chromatids orient towards the equator at metaphase 1. Okay, here the centromere does not split in metaphase 1. Centromere does not split in metaphase 1. Then in mitosis, centromeres in metaphase orient toward the equator while chromatids orient towards the pole. Okay, in meiosis, orient towards the poles while chromatids orient towards the equator in metaphase 1. And the telophase, we will going to discuss about telophase. These telophase, mitosis, the result of this formation of 2 daughter nuclei having the same number of chromosome as that of parent cell. So parent cell, how many chromosomes are present in parent cell after telophase? Then the daughter cell is also possess the same number, equal number of the chromosomes are present. But whereas in meiosis, the chromosome number are 1/2 of the daughter cell. And last one, cytokinesis. After, very, very important. See here, my dear friends, after telophase, after completion of this telophase, immediately this cytokinesis has occurred in mitosis. Whereas in meiosis, may or may not occur at the end of the first karyokinesis. Nothing but after first telophase 1 or telophase 1. Okay, it may occur or may not occur. So this is about differences between mitosis and meiosis. Okay, my dear friends, if you have any doubts, please ask me. I will clarify regarding of today's class. Any doubts?
Yes, sir. One egg, one form. Yes, sir. Then what is in the case of twins, ma'am? Sir.
Amma, your voice is not clearly audible, Amma.
Sania, you can just type it in the message. What is the doubt you have? Then I can read out. Yes, girls, any more doubts in this topic? This is a very, very important question. Especially prophase 1 of meiosis 1. That is very, very important. So any doubts, please feel free to ask, sir. Nobody is having any doubts? Sania, you can just message, no, you can chat in the message box.
Okay, good question. Okay, good question, Sania. So Sania is asking me, what about one egg and a sperm forms zygote in case of twins? What is the situation? So these twins are 3 types of them. So they are what we can say that identical twins, non-identical twins. Okay, identical and non-identical twins. And one of the important, the twins that is a very, very specific or harmful situation, that is Siamese twins. These are the 3 types of the twins maybe chances during the reproduction. Okay, whenever egg is going to fuse with the sperm is going to fuse with the egg cell to form a zygote. After formation of the zygote, some of the mitotic divisions has taken place in the zygote to form an embryo. So the embryo is going to complete at the time of the developmental stages. The embryo is going to divide into 2 offs or 2 different embryoids. So these 2 embryos is completely developed to produce the same, the physically, the morphologically, they are looks like same features. The twins we can call as identical twins. Is it right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is the one condition. Then what about the second condition? That is the non-identical twins or fraternal twins. So in this condition, some of the sometimes ovaries in female reproductory organ, ovaries are going to produce release 2 eggs or 2 ova. So these 2 ova is going to fertilize with different sperms. So that's why each ova is going to develop into after fertilization. The zygote is going to develop different embryos, and they are looks not same. They are different. And my dear friends, remember, in identical twins, the gender must be same, whether female gender or male gender. But whereas the second type of condition or second condition, the both ova is released whenever during sometimes some exceptional times, these 2 ova is going to fertilize with 2 different sperms and develop into 2 embryos and produce 2 babies. The baby should be they are not the same gender. They may be same gender, or one female or one male, or both are male or both are female. So these are the choices are there. These are the chances are there in second condition. Am I clear? So first condition, the first condition should be, the gender should be either male or female. But both of they are identical. Both of they are looks like a same. Morphologically, they are looks same similar appearance. But the second condition, non-identical twins are produced just because of ova is released. 2 ova is released, and they are going to fertilize with 2 sperms and develop into 2 embryos and 2 babies. They are either 2 male babies or either 2 female babies, or 1 male and 1 female baby. Maybe they are the choices. There are chances there. The third one is very, very important. Remember, my dear friends, here the third type of the twins that we can call as Siamese twins. Are you ever heard the Siamese twins?
No.
No, sir.
మనకి మీరు ఎప్పుడన్నా విని ఉంటారు చూడండి, అతకబడి ఉంటాయి, తలలో అతికి ఉంటాయి, లేకపోతే బాడీ పార్ట్స్ అతకబడి బేబీ వాళ్ళు ఏది బేబీస్ డ్యూరింగ్ ద బర్త్ దే ఆర్ వాళ్ళు అతుకొని పుట్టినటువంటి పిల్లలు.
Case of Vani Veena.
Yeah.
The girls.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.
So that
They are both joined together either by their head or any body part. They may get attached. They'll be jointly, because they are joint twins.
Yeah, joint twins are Siamese twins. So why this type of Siamese twins are birth? Why? How can it is possible? How can? Why it is occurred? Just because, remember, in first condition, what is the first condition, Amma? Identical twins. Only 1 egg and 1 sperm is going to fertilize to produce, to form embryo. The embryo is going to divide completely and produce 2 twins. But here, the like same first condition, 1 egg is going to fertilize with 1 sperm and to form a diploid zygote, and after some divisions to produce embryo. The embryo is unable to completely divide, and the incomplete divided embryo is developed in the mother's womb. Am I clear?
Girls, the 2 embryos,
Yes, sir.
whatever are produced,
Yes,
they
sir. Yes,
remain
sir.
attached.
Yeah.
The embryoids, whatever are divided, those will be remain attached till the period of their releasing from the mother womb.
Yes.
Okay, that's why they will be remaining attached, and they will be remaining in their lifetime. Okay, so depending upon the parts, the separation may be possible or may not be possible. If it is possible, there is only 1% of chance for their living,
Yes.
because the genetic material present in them may cause harm to the internal organs, and if the separation occurs successfully, one can be physically challenged. So that
Yes.
can be 99% chances are there, but only 1% chance of aliving of either of the twins. So that's why this is considered to be as very dangerous and dreadful situation for those twins.
Yes, along with
Right, sir?
not only their offsprings, even though the mother side is also face a lots of problem. And my dear friends, some of the friends is asking me about what about the sex determination during the concession or during the fertilization. After fertilization, the sex determination is determined by not female chromosomes. Remember, and in previous class we have already
Male.
discussed. No, so in allosomes or sex chromosomes in human beings, 23 pairs of the chromosomes. Among these 23 pairs of the chromosome, first 22 chromosomes are determinants of the somatic or the entire body features like eye color, hair color, and different body posture. But the last two chromosomes or one pair of the chromosomes are determinants of the sex, or they are belongs to sex chromosomes. In female gender of the human beings, XX chromosomes, whereas in male human beings contain XY chromosome. So among these chromosomes, between these chromosomes, are female chromosomes or male chromosomes, the sex determination is caused by Y chromosome of the male organism. Okay, am I clear? Male.
Yes, sir.
Y chromosome present in male organism or male human being only, not in female human being. And research was find out in yesterday. Some of the friends are sent to me. The sex determination is also not only caused by the Y chromosome of the male organism, at the same time their siblings also. Okay, that is one of the finding, but not yet finally confirmed. That is the research is going on. Okay. Okay. Anyway, the one of the best questions they are asking me, Sonia and what we can say, Divya. Divya. Okay. Is there any doubt, my dear friends? Now
No,
it's
sir.
9. Now it's 9:15. Okay, very good. More than 58 students are there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They are very much interested in your class.
I'm very thankful to you because of this much of interaction among these students, because of they are very intelligent people, and also they are very clever students. They are very interestingly they are involving this teaching learning process. And also this online class.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Generally face-to-face class is very interesting, but online class is a little bit of bore compared to direct class. But our students is very actively involving today's class. I'm very happy.
Yes, sir.
My
Thank
dear
you
friends.
thank you very much, sir. So really, these both batch students are very much enthusiastic and very much interested in the subject of learning. So thank you, girls. Just greet sir with thanking.
Thank you, sir.
you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Okay,
sir.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Sania,
much, sir.
Sania, your doubt is clear.
Thank you so
Sania,
much.
Sania, whatever
Yes,
you
sir.
ask me, whatever you ask
Yes,
me,
sir.
the doubt is clear completely.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very
Right.
good. Apurva and any other friends? Is there any doubts? No. Okay, thank you.
Right.
May I leave? May I leave?
Yeah. Thank you very much,
Thank
sir. We look forward for next class.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
girls. Yeah. Thank you, girls. You can leave now. Tomorrow we have the another session, right?
Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.